The truth. April 18, 2022. I see a lot of truthers commenting on Michael Jaco's videos saying they want the whole truth and nothing but the truth now. They attack Michael Jaco, they call him things, say he's a downer. He only knows what he knows. They say he's controlled opposition. I don't think so. What he says makes sense to me. My point is, if this is the way they react to being told even this much truth, how will they react if all of it is revealed at once? Are they grateful? Are they ready to accept it and to do something about it? No. All you see in the comments section are a bunch of winners and attackers. This is how they deal with someone who not only wants to give them the truth, but is doing service for them. The fact is, service is the nature of life, not selfishness as you see it on earth, so the other fact is that because many are not aligned with the highest truth, that of service, how can you tell them the whole truth? They'd reject it. The fact is the truth behind what's going on now can't be revealed to us. Ashtar has said that the truth has to be anchored, step by step in several different timelines. There are many different people on this planet, many differing levels of consciousness, so what's truth for one is reason for another to be afraid. It's been said, we can't handle the truth, and there is some truth to that because it's like explaining grade 12 physics to a kindergartner. They're not only not going to get it, they're going to either laugh at you, or resist it in some other way. This was my comment on Michael Jaco's video, people on here complaining that they want to know the truth, the whole truth right now. I feel sorry for you, Michael, but you were chosen to do this work. All of us who do it have to put up with a lot of shit. Why do we have to put up with shit? Because people aren't ready for the truth. You tell them the truth and they make fun of you, they call you names, tell you you're the opposition, they react in fear. What would happen to this earth if the truth were unleashed all at once and the all people heard all at once? This earth would explode because of the collective reaction of everyone upon it. All the people demanding to hear the truth all at once are the ones who can't take it. Just go on doing what you're doing, and forget about people who chuck shit at you for not telling them everything, because they're the ones who can't take it. The truth is dealt with acceptance. These are not accepting people in your comments section. Acceptance, and then, so what are we going to do about it? Which is the second part. Look how many people are taking responsible action in this process. Not as many as we need to rid the world of the DS, is there? People need to grow up and start looking at the way they react to things as being the reason why they can't be told everything. We have to go through an acceptance process of every bit of information we come across. Do we accept it or not? Will we be responsible to change it or not? We are intellectually and emotionally immature. We are a very immature, reactive species. And so that's why the truth is fed to us in small chunks, never mind there are many of us operating at many different levels of consciousness. The people who don't want the truth, like my sister, aren't going to be following Sharon and Ivo, that's for sure. People will scoff at what I have to say and say, Sharon Stewart. She's so full of it, and they'll never watch any of our videos again. I don't care. These people are not ready to hear the truth at my level. Do I know everything? Of course not. But I vibrate at a level of truth higher than they do. Ivo, the truth of the matter is, my love, that Earth is undergoing a process of raising the collective consciousness. So many on the planet do not even understand what that is, are not interested in it, and would scoff at it because this is a typical reaction of someone who feels they are being made to look foolish. They chest beat whenever they hear something that is true that they do not believe in themselves, in order to falsify the truth bringer. This is an extremely childish, and I might add reptilian reaction to the truth. Your social media is not filled with people who are shakers and movers. The people out there who are doing something spend minimal time on social media and maximum time out in the swamp, trying to change the nature of life. The people who are on social media are people who are informing each other, yes, and we have taken advantage of your propensity to sit on your backsides and search the internet for someone to relate to in order to make this ascension event work. Were it that you would spend as much time learning to relate to yourself rather than trying to find someone in this world you are compatible with, the world would be so much better off. Me, yup. I'm on here a lot, sometimes all day, but now that I'm feeling better I've been getting outside more. Ivo, which is the normal thing to do when one feels well, to go outside. Now that so many people are on their electronics all day, it would be safe to assume they are not feeling well. Me, lol yes, they're being connected to the internet by the bad guys. The next step is getting you implanted so your chip connects you to the internet. That's why all the satellites across the world, folks. They want to monitor and implant thoughts directly into your minds. Is this what you want? Then get off of that thing and start living a real life. Refuse to succumb to their system. Ivo, and there are several other points as well, my love. Firstly, the people of Earth have been heavily traumatized. Yes, you are all traumatized. You will, of course, argue with me and say that you feel fine. Yes, perhaps you feel fine, but what you are feeling fine at is being a lesser version of who you truly are, or in some cases a version of yourself that is fake and has been taught to you. You are suppressing the wholeness of yourself by fitting into a world that seeks to control you. So if you feel fine in being this way, I feel compassion for you. Me, lol yup. I was there. No, I wasn't. I hated this place and I hated my life. Ivo, to your credit, my love. The other point I wish to make is that many of you, as we just pointed out, are still succumbing to their plan, rather than wholly rejecting any shred of compliance. You do not want to comply here but you still comply there. You call for the arrest of Trudeau and Bill Gates but the assemblage of people was conducted through the internet, which is also seeking to enslave you. You desire freedom but comply with tyranny in so many other ways. What would happen if we gave you the whole truth all at once? You would die of heart failure, that is what would happen. So many of you are not aware of the fact that this world is a creation of your collective minds. In order to change the world, we must change your minds first. This is a quantum truth. And this is a reality based upon energy. There is no such thing as mass. There is only energy, and what you perceive as solid is not solid, only slower energy than you are. That is why you can sit on your couch and touch computer keys. The truth can only be given to the people of Earth as the people are ready to accept it. Some will never accept it, and that is their choice, but your choices must be clear. This entire ascension process must be made in steps. There is no grand revelation of truth to come because, yes, another truth so many do not understand is that you must accept the truth in order to be able to live it. And this is obvious because what is the first thing you do when someone speaks a truth and you do not believe it? Many reject it. Do you wish to live or in fact die, in a grand flash of rejection of the truth of God and reality? The truth of life itself. No, we have been feeding this information to you over many years through our contacts on Earth, and we will continue to do so because you would have a heart failure if you knew the entire truth and how much of a lie your lives actually are. Me, you said grand flash of truth, Ivo. Is that what the event is? The day that enough people, perhaps a quorum, can lift Earth into the fifth dimension? Ivo, that would be a sufficient explanation, my love. Me, I felt you touching my face last week. I know we're so close. I've seen you twice now, in color. I'm just trying to get this mind slide to lift and let me just walk over to you and kiss you. Ivo, examine your fears to be free of it at last. The video you watched on anxiety had some clues. Me, I'll have to find it back. All I have to do is focus on the changing to 5D to understand what's holding me back, but I'll look for it again. She was talking about the 5 or 6 biggest fears. Ivo, we need to get you to a certain point in order to reveal more. Sharon does not have all the information and we cannot give it to her because she too, has not reached that point. You want the truth but you do not even accept the true nature of life and reality. You believe that love is something to be taken. How many songs do you hear, give it to me, baby, yet love is something to be given. Me, lol yes, Robert Plant thinks that love is measured in inches. I'll give you every inch of my love. That's pretty stingy, man. LOL. Ivo, yet so many people learn from these songs. And the reason they learn this way, from what society teaches them, is because their parents are not adequate to the task because they have been traumatized. So the children look outside of the home for tutelage. They find the matrix there as well. Me, I did. Ivo, yes, fortunately at the time you listened to us in many ways as well. You were aware you were being guided too. Me, I did. Ivo, the truth is, you have no idea how much your society must change in order to embody heavenly godliness within it again. No idea. The reason the Alliance works undercover is multifold. For one thing, what would the people of Earth do if the Alliance were revealed to the public? They would either love them or hate them. They would believe them or they would fear them. They would idolize them as the new Hollywood or they would lambaste them. The fact is, the changes to be made on planet Earth now are changes that are being made behind the realization of your awareness. Why? Because many of you believe, and this is also erroneous, that you are to react to your surroundings, that you do not create them. The creators we work with, but so many people on earth believe that life is fed to them and they must react to it. So we have the situations created for you to register in your minds and continue to anchor as your reality. However, the DS also does the same, as you can see with their attempts to start World War III. Many people believe that the MSM should go down. Ivo, it is turning, but it is turning as you anchor that idea. If nobody anchors that idea, if no one puts their energy against the MSM and into a new system of communication, we cannot change the system. Now many are turning away and watching the truthers. The DS is trying to censor the truthers, but the MSM now is being overtaken by light workers and it will turn. It is an axiom of life that you must rise in frequency, one level at a time. So it is with Earth, one thing after the next must change. It is a process. So many want an event. We cannot give you an event, you must undergo the process and learn to become discerning of truth in the meanwhile, because this is crucial to anchoring more light. The fact is, Mr. T is a Jesuit. He is also of the bloodlines with his own agenda. And yes, he is a 33rd degree Mason. Right now so many believe in him because they see he has power. What is happening throughout this entire process is that evil is being worked with by the light in order to create good. There is no such thing as a politician who is of absolute light. They are human, they are all fallible, and given to being greedy and destructive, the same as any other human. What you have on Earth right now are warring factions of DS. They all want to have their agenda prevail over you. But it is all a control agenda. We are taking their contributions to free you from their control. You put blind faith into a man who has gotten rich by paying people minimum wage. He enjoys his employees and they applaud him, but they are not in his shoes, are they? This is the lie. You can be in his shoes, as wealthy as he is, with much less toil and effort, but he will not tell you that. However, we will. These are the secrets the occultists keep from the people. You tell him, yes, I want to work. I want to work harder at a job I despise. Please give me more jobs. We shake our heads. You are still brainwashed into believing you even need to work. When there is true equality among the people, true equality, then you will understand you need no leaders to profit by you. You have much growth to do yet. Those who did not want to work a regular job, such as musicians, they wanted to work selling their music and doing concerts. Do you not think the DS would not find a way to exploit them as well? What ended up happening? Those musicians who are rich, the few at the top, are part of their occultist group, the poor ones at the bottom, the ones they stole from, are not. Do you not see yet? Open your eyes, please, for your own sakes. Do you not see the rank and file of life? There are the numbers and only a few make it to the top. Why do they make it to the top when others who are more talented fail? Ask yourselves that, please. You lament the fact that life is not fair. As it is practiced now upon Earth, it obviously is not. But was it designed to be fair? Does universal law support fairness? Does universal law support love for all? Does universal law support benevolence, mastery, and abundance for all? It most certainly does. But will Mr. T tell you this? He will not. He still does not want you to know. He is no leader. He is an exploiter of humanity, the same as the rest. Sharon is more of a leader to people than anyone in position in your governments. Oh, don't do that. Ivo, you see my point, though, do you not? I do. It's about empowering people. Ivo, yes. You lament the fact your leaders do not disclose alien existence to you. Do you see why now? You would look at the alien worlds and see they live so much better than you do. They want you to believe you are alone and have no help. Otherwise you would overthrow their power over you. They fear your knowing this, and they fear us because we will tell you the truth. We can do nothing else or become like them ourselves. They know we understand the rules of the universe better than they do. So when we speak to them, we can be on the level with them. We call them out for what they are doing to the people, and we can stand in the way as they attempt to enslave you further. But ultimately, it is up to you to decide if you want total freedom or not. You must all choose individually and as a collective. This is the process you are undergoing now. The faction of the elite who will ultimately succeed is the one with the least malevolent agenda for you, which would be a grand improvement over where you are now. But it is not the final stop. Through working with these negative factions, we will install the Galactic Codex upon Earth, thence be able to help you ourselves. What you have heard about good generals concerned for the benefit of humanity is a lie. This is not how the alliance was started. Nobody gets into high power positions on Earth by being a good person. You have been lied to again by the DS. The ones who have worked with us are the ones who have been complicit with these plans initially and were then turned to the light through higher contact. This is what has made them turn. We told them what would happen to them if they continued on their path of compliance with the DS. We have turned many people to the light this way. What benevolence can be seen in a person who complies with the killing of even one human being, never mind launching an attack on innocents? Please. You must learn to see the truth of war, and what your militaries are doing. When one makes the position of general in the military, it is because they have learned absolute obedience and compliance. They become informed of the agenda and indoctrinated before they get their stripes. They are in compliance, otherwise they would not be promoted or they would suffer some other fate. Generals are completely brainwashed and in need of deprogramming in order to work with us. Your belief that there are good generals in the military is another deception. MacArthur was not. The DS has used the military to overtake other DS factions for many years. Initially the military was aligned with the Roman Catholic Church, but then it became the power of the governments as the Church lost power over the people in the age of intellect, which you are now in. If there were good generals in the military, they would be killed unless they are protected by us. Those, such as CDN Paul Hillier, were turned to the light and protected. They would fear someone of that power against them. They would do away with them. If they are alive now, they are complicit and not to be trusted unless they are working with us. However, they can still work a negative agenda while they are working with the Alliance. So there's one I'm thinking of and we don't really know. How can they work a negative agenda while they're working with you? Ivo, for exposure of others and the truth. You must learn to become discerning, as I said. As for that one, we do know, my love. The light is making use of their darkness. Eventually they will be exposed. What do you think would qualify a person to become an army general? The ability to kill, my love, is what qualifies them. This is proven ultimately in their indoctrination process. The supposed greatest generals are the worst killers. The ones who do it with no compunction make the best generals. These are the biggest sociopaths. These are the requirements in your militaries. The ones with a conscience who suffer from their time in war, the ones who are traumatized, have the greatest conscience. Sounds like MK Electra. Ivo, arguably, your entire world is. So none of them are starseeds who could resist being brainwashed? Ivo, no. Not at that level, my love. You do, however, see them in the P movement. What must be removed is the power to deceive you. Do you not see this? It is imperative that you cannot be lied to any longer. You must clearly be able to see the truth. Until you do, they will retain functionality and control over you. You simply have not outgrown this reality as a species. The Alliance is working with those who are in power to create goodness from their greed, benevolence from their power hunger, and love for all from their selfishness. This is how the Alliance works with those of the universe. They utilize the power of those you call leaders to actually create a world worth living in for all. Mr. T is not going to last forever. Eventually he will have his fall from grace, but another leader, one of a higher frequency, will step up to replace him. And so it will go, with the people anchoring all of the positive changes, as they can. Because we know that positive changes cannot be anchored by all right now, as many of you are very negative. This is why it is imperative that the people get involved. Without their anchoring positive change, and their insistence upon it, nothing will change. They must become aware of the reality they are creating. Were it that a Pleiadian or a vegan or a Lyran should step up to lead your world, so many of you would not be able to comply with this leadership. You are simply not ready yet to be so empowered. The reason you are being lied to by the Alliance, truths being held back, is that you are still closer to those that have owned and controlled you in nature than you are to the Lyran or Pleiadian. This is a lot to accept, and many of you will think I am joking. You will despise this message and wonder if I got out of the wrong side of bed today. I did not. It is the simple truth. You have much growth to do and it will be fed to you a spoonful at a time. Thank you, Ivo. I'm going to give this its own special page on our website. This needs to be seen. Ivo, thank you, my love. You are in a collective growth process. Some are learning faster than others, but you are generally still a negative reactive species that has done little personal growth, and for this you are being tricked and deceived. You also have an enormous backlog of karma that must be rebalanced. This is why you must undergo a growth process.